Living with Sweet Tea Morning Show. Now, this is where we rise and shine and we start our day on purpose, with purpose, for the purpose of having an attitude of gratitude. I am your host, Latanja Millhouse, aka Sweet Tea. I am a certified life coach, health coach, and your number one hype woman. Plus, the biggest reminder that today you get another opportunity to live boldly, zestfully, and unapologetically you. The question is that we always ask is, can you hear it? Do you feel it? Do you know it? And can you see it? It's a brand new day. Can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel a brand new day? It's a brand new day. And so that's what we start our day with, feeling grateful for everything that we have, because there's so much that people can complain about. However, it usually requires another person to listen. And so if you don't have anyone that's going to listen and hear all of the complaints that you have, that's a good thing, because they're holding you in contempt in terms of not being able to do that. And so that's something that you don't want to do, is start complaining about things that you have and don't have. And so that's what we're going to be looking at in our gratitude journals for today. If you have something to write in and write on, go ahead and pull those out today so that you can look at the gratitude journal for today and our prompt. Let me go ahead and look at something for us to start to write on for today. And so this is a gratitude for growth. And again, these are repeated if you haven't heard them before. And so you may hear them again. A gratitude for growth. Think about something that challenged you recently, a hard conversation, a setback, an unexpected change. What is one thing that difficulty taught you about yourself that you could not have learned any other way? And this is the journal prompt to finish this sentence. I am grateful for that struggle because it showed me I am the kind of woman who, or I am the kind of man who. Right. And so let's see, maybe I'll do a new one. Let's look at a new one because it seems that we did that one last week. So let's do I am grateful for, because it showed me that I, just as simple as that. And so the gratitude journal prompt for today, I am grateful for because it showed me that I. Okay, so let's do that one. It's pretty simple, straightforward, and it's going to be simplified in just that way. So I am grateful for because it showed me that I. Let's write on that. Let's see. Okay. And so everyone knows that Sweet Tea don't get personal, but I will today in terms of sharing with you what I have written. So I am grateful for blank because it showed me that I. So I says I am grateful for my resilience because it showed me that I can complete everything that I start. And so that's going to be important for me to recognize the things that I start, I complete them, and I am resilient about it. And so I don't give up. I continue on pressing forward with making sure that it gets taken care of. And so I am proud of myself for that and how I show up in any particular space that I am in when it comes to the things that I start. And so that is a testament for how you can show up in your own life doing things that you know that you need to complete. It's one thing to start a thing, and it's kind of easy to be able to, once you're in it, the hardest part is starting. And so that's something that I am very proud of myself for starting this particular projects when I do them and completing them that makes me feel even more proud. And so we know that this is Monday. We have our Asha Cerise that joins us on Monday. So let's welcome her in for Zestful Living. Welcome, Asha. Good to see you there. Always good to see you there. And thank you so much for being here. Did you need the extra chair for that?
Grand Rising, I do.
Okay. We have to bring it over.
All right, Grand Rising, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
Let's make some adjustments here.
I have the laptop right here so that we can check our YouTube notifications, comments. Uh-oh, be careful. Just right here behind us.
Oh, okay.
Just scoot it up. All right. Grand Rising, Grand Rising.
Okay. And so, as you can see,
excuse me,
I have a new attitude. How does that song go by Patti LaBelle?
I don't know the words.
It's a new hairdo. And so it's all natural. And so, yes, I'm really, really happy about rocking it because it feels good. And in terms of what it means for me, oh, there we are. It means that it is okay to be in the spaces of who you are and how you feel for the day. You know, of course, I talk about the accessories for any kind of weave or wigs or extensions or anything like that. They're all extensions of you and accessories. But when you go all natural, as Asha is natural, it's only fitting, as I did mention, when I turned 60, as it is as of yesterday, I wanted to go ahead and lock my hair. So this is the beginning of it all. So thank you all so much for your support in being here in Zestful Living. I think I want to change it to Zestful Living. And so I
Isn't
think
that the name?
it is, but I do with Sweet Tea Morning. I don't say morning.
Oh, okay.
So Zestful Living Show. And welcome, Dad. Thank you so much as Dad is tuning in all the way from Cali. And I mention that each and every time because it's 5 a.m. there. And I hear a lot of criticism for people saying that this show comes on too early, as it is. And so if Dad can do it at 5 a.m., I suspect that anyone else can, if they choose to. But it's always a choice. And you can always listen back to the replay.
So and I'm not a early riser, but I be here on Mondays, y'all. It's only 8 a.m. in Georgia, but I will be in the bed. Okay. Because I'm a night owl. But speaking of your birthday, how do you feel now that you've entered into a new decade? You're now 60 years young.
Oh, 60 years young. Isn't that interesting? And so one of the things that happens, how am I supposed to feel? I feel renewed, refreshed. I feel beautiful. And I feel that it is a beginning of a journey that I am taking because I'm owning every space that I enter in when it comes to confidence.
Yes.
And so I feel relieved. I feel rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm.
I feel blessed. And I feel youthful, as someone is making a very, I feel very youthful when it comes to just me. I just feel more and more about who I am at my core. Someone that loves to have fun, someone that sees the sunny side of things. And so it's just making me be more and more in tune, as I say, sexy 60. And so it's just one of those things that I am doing as it is. Let me see if I can remember. Plenty 20, dirty 30, sporty 40, thrifty 50, sexy 60, 70, heavenly 70, greatly 80, and mighty 90. And so that's from Gingerbread Man, and wanted to give that shout out too. And so, yes, I feel really, really blessed. And thank you, Asha, for recognizing that your mother, you know, you said to go all natural. And then thank you so much for creating the event, planning the event, and bringing the event into fruition, because I had no idea. I know you said just to prepare for something. And when I got there, I was surprised to see all of the smiles, all of the love, all of those faces that came from Birmingham, my family that drove in from Alabama to come in and surprise me for my 60th birthday. And I was very, very happy. I'm still on a natural high.
For those that don't know,
So-
because there's many people that don't, because it was kind of shared privately, because it was a surprise. I planned and hosted a surprise brunch for Mama's 60th birthday yesterday. So it took a lot of, passing invitations on the low and getting things done. But special thanks to, you know, um, Esha, who was my decorator, who decorated beautifully. We had a backdrop with balloons. She helped me decorate the table. We had all the pictures of Mama throughout the years and candles. And we had, well, I printed out some prompts, or she printed them for me, but I created some prompts for people to fill out. So one of Mama's favorite movies is Mahogany. So we
Yes.
had a mahogany theme. So that was the dress code. Shades of mahogany, orange, gold, very beautiful, coral. It was really beautiful how everybody showed up. And we had a really good time. Shout out to the Indigo Room where we had the event. And it was just really lovely to have everybody there. We had a long table full of people who love Mama, who came to show up and celebrate her with me. And we're grateful for everybody who did show up. Thank you.
We're grateful for everyone. And you said the magic word in terms of those that were there that were ready to pour into me. And I had said going in that I'm going to allow myself and give myself permission to receive, because oftentimes when you're in a place where you're giving all the time, you don't necessarily know how to just receive a thing. And so I was ready to just do that, to receive the love, receive the greetings, receive those that were there to help celebrate me. And I had a good time. I enjoyed the modeling, the dancing, the interactions, and just there being in the moment as it is, listening to the jazz and the saxophone player. And that was a really good set to be into, because I love smooth jazz, and all of the details that Asha made on the questions that were asked that was passed around to the guest. And so that also had a meaning to it also. And what was the part of it about the mahogany theme from the movie?
So the theme song of Mahogany is, do you know where you're going to? Do you know the things that life is showing you? So it was, do you know where you're going to? It's basically prompts like, what do you want to see in Sweet Tea's next season? What's your favorite memory with her? Describe her in 3 words. So it was just different prompts for everybody to be able to share their love and their thoughts. And it was really nice. It was really nice.
It's really nice. And for someone to actually pull off an event such as that, it's everything when someone does it for you in terms of the surprise. I surprised Asha on her 35th birthday. Our birthdays are a week apart. And so we did a special surprise for her on her 35th. Those monumental numbers as 60, and I'm still getting used to that. It is a milestone, and it's just, I feel great, to answer your question in the short answer.
I'm gonna give you a B when it comes to receiving, because you did pretty good. There was a couple of times where Mama just naturally does this, pours back into people, and then you poured into. Mama did a whole speech and poured into everybody that was still there, because it was towards the end when everybody kind of was heading out. But you did pretty good.
A B.
Yeah, I give you a B.
Awesome. That's good.
Keep working on it to get to an A+ of just receiving and just allowing and not having to always throw it back.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And thank you once again for showing me all of that love on my birthday and bringing in a classy way and a great way. And it was received well. And I enjoyed it, and I will continue to enjoy it each and every day. I owe that to myself, to enjoy my life and have a great time. Thank you to all that came and all that perhaps wanted to and weren't able to. And so I still love you all and appreciate you just the same.
Thank y'all. But yeah, I'll be posting some recap soon. Give me some time. We were both sitting here at this table last night, falling asleep, exhausted. It takes a lot to do things because I didn't have one drink, but I felt intoxicated last night of how exhausted I was. It takes a lot of emotional and mental and spiritual energy to curate something and to host something and make sure everything comes together. And I'm out here in these only child streets, so you have to tap into your resources. It seems like I keep seeing a comment pop up. That's why I keep looking back here, but then there's nothing here.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things that Sasha pointed out. She gives me a B on the receiving end that I have to work on when it comes to allowing someone to pour back into me, because I do this on a day-to-day basis. And when I got up there, because my sister said, speech, 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 and you all will see some clips of that, I kept going and going and going and going in terms of just whatever was coming up. And it was really exuberating, exciting. I was enthusiastic throughout the whole entire thing, dramatic as I should say. And it was from the heart. And so I do appreciate knowing that this particular journey that I'm on now is going to be all about seeing the things that I desire to come into full fruition. So stay tuned for the clips and the videos, and stay tuned for the next thing that Sweet Tea will bring you.
Absolutely. Do you have any particular intentions for chapter? Well, people say it's not technically. Okay, give me your opinion on this, because you know how people will say chapter 60.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say this wouldn't be technically chapter 60. It would be chapter 61.
Chapter 61.
Because when you're born until you're 1 year old, that's a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you turn 1, that's the end of chapter 1.
That's the end of chapter 1.
So this would be the beginning of your chapter 61, but that's just the technicalities. What do you think about that?
Well, I know
which chapter would be.
What chapter would be? I know also that Prince, may he rest in heavenly peace, mentioned that we only have one birthday, you born, and the rest of the time, I'm not sure how he labeled it, but it's based on
chapter.
Right. It is based on the fact that you only get one birthday,
Yeah.
and so he doesn't keep up with the dates in terms of how old you are per se.
Mm.
And so I do feel that this is perhaps chapter 61, because that makes sense. Because that full year, you're there for 9 months before you're born.
I'm talking about the year from the time you're born until you turn 1. Is that considered a chapter, or is that the introduction?
I think that's considered the forward. That's considered
you don't
the
even
introduction.
Consider that a chapter.
That's considered. It could be a chapter because it's a full year. I would go along with that. It's a full year. We made sense out of it.
But let's just say year 60. Do you have any particular intentions for this new year?
For this new year, as I pointed out, I will focus a little bit more on me, what I'm feeling, as I say, can you feel a brand new day? And so I will find out what it is that I'm feeling as it is. I arose today. Do we want to do the show today? And so you ask me, well, how are you feeling about it, Ma? I say, yeah, we can do it, because again, there's no point of not completing what it is that I start. And so I did make that in my particular writing for today, that I am grateful for my resilience, because it shows me that I can start a thing and complete a thing, or complete a thing that I start. And so for this journey that I'm on now is to continue to tap into how I'm feeling, make the adjustments as I need to, and really recognize what it is that's going on with me, especially when it comes to boundaries, to be able to set those boundaries. Because again, when I say protect your ear gates,
a mess.
The things that we hear, you may adhere to them. Because again, we're bombarded with a lot of noise, and I'm finding, perhaps as time goes on, my ears are very sensitive. To loud noise.
Oh, I thought you were
okay. I do not like a lot of loud noise, and then if you turn on the social media TV, there's all kinds of things that you're going to see.
TV.
Yeah, that's what I call it. And so welcome, my dear friend Lenitra White Rucker thank you so much for being here. My condolences goes to you and your family, sweetie. I understand and I know what that feels like for you to have that going on in your life right now. My condolences. There is no time frame on how long we mourn, grieve, and bereavement time period that you may have. You have my prayers there for you at this time and hour of what you're going through. And so, yes,
She said, "Good morning, beautiful. I pray you had a blessed birthday."
I did have a blessed birthday as it continues on, as it continues on, that I will continue to celebrate life and continue to celebrate me as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, this journey, I'm recognizing what I need in the short answer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because we'll talk. I forgot that I asked you the dang old question.
Right.
Okay. It was something else I wanted to say. What was your highlight of the brunch or your birthday?
The highlight of my birthday was to see all of those that I know are very busy, extremely busy, make time for me. Because we all have schedules, we all have things that we're committed to, and just to see them showing up for me, it meant a lot. So to see all of my friends and family, my family that drove in from Birmingham, Alabama, my sister and my nieces, my aunt and my brother showed up for me, it meant a lot because this means that it was intentional that you showed up for me. And so it made me feel very, very loved. It made me feel special. What you looking at?
I'm looking at you.
Okay.
Talking to me.
It made me feel very special to see all of those beautiful faces there to help celebrate me. And I understand for those that weren't able to be there, that is something I understand as well. And one of the things about that, that they used to say in churches when you attend church during the tithes and offering period, they used to say, bless those that don't have it to give, but desire to give. And so they don't say that anymore.
No,
And it's one of those things that if you want to give and you don't have it, what are you supposed to do? Do you not get blessed either? And so if someone wasn't able to attend, it's okay. We all have things that we're doing. We're busy, we're adults, we're going through a great deal of things, and people are just not able to make it. And so I appreciate you all. I love you all for the times in which we are together and me knowing that I can feel your prayers and feel your love, even though if you weren't physically there. And I appreciated seeing everyone. And so the impromptu where I did my modeling, of course, we all have that moment. Lenitra, you know all about it, where we're going to turn every space into a runway. And that was enjoyable also. And then, of course, the jazz, the saxophone player, the, what was it, a saxophone? I enjoy the smooth jazz. It was really a great ambiance in the place. Asha had the decor in the mahogany theme, the browns. And so she says that when we went shopping and then I naturally went to a bronze color, it was actually something that she already had pre-planned. And so that energy is real. Asha has a very keen intuition. And so sometimes we may finish each other's sentences. Sometimes we may be thinking about the same thing. As I pointed out, I almost wore the same colors for her that she has on. Generally, that's kind of a teal green. I was going to wear a mint green, but that's okay. Sometimes we align in that way.
Because you're my mama.
Yeah, and I'm her only person that she can say mama to. There's no one else that can say mama.
And I'm the only person she could say daughter to.
Girl.
Somebody over here says, can you name a random song or your favorite song? One of your favorite songs.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's
love overflowing.
That's one of my favorite songs. When Stephanie Mills sings it, sweetie, we saw Stephanie Mills live.
Oh yeah,
and when
you
she
was like teleporting, you was so excited.
Because it does something to me for the lyrics of that song. It's just that, I think of a place where there's love overflowing, and we all know that place. And of course, home to me is where you reside inside.
Home is where your heart is.
Home is where your heart is. And so when you think about the family that you grew up with and around, it is similar to the family reunion song that brings me the joy. And also the Jackson 5 is a song that I'm singing now, Good Times. And so it helps you to remember. And I think that that's where I go. I go into the memory of what it used to be like when you're around family and we're laughing and telling jokes, listening to music and having a good time. I remember the good old days. That's what that is. And it brings me the most enjoyment.
Do you feel like you have had the best days in your life, or do you feel like they're yet to come?
I believe that they're yet to come because, again, as I grow and evolve, there's more and more of me that even excites me about birthing, if you will, and no pun intended, because you birth ideas for people. What does that entail?
I help them birth their own ideas. I can't birth them.
What does that entail again, Asha? About how you do that?
As a dream doula, just support people by holding space, listening to what they want to do in their life, love, or in their business, and strategize with them. I, co-collaborate or collaborate with them to strategize on the best methods to show up, how they want to show up, what they want for themselves, and some of the things that they might be stuck on. We're going to get it out. Like whatever it is that you've been procrastinating on, whatever it is that you're just unsure of, you don't know where to start, you don't know what steps to take, we're going to get it. We're going to get you started.
Going to get us started. And my dear sister, my big sis, she made these earrings for me. She has some more that she's made for me. These are hand painted. Big sis on the TikTok is at Cleopatra, and there in Facebook, she goes as Shonda Millhouse, my elder sister. She was there and surprised me. And she told a little white lie because when she called me, she says, I wish I could be there. And I says, well, I understand, or whatever the case. And she says, I love you and thank you. And then when I got there, I saw her there. And so that was a surprise, a pleasant surprise for me as well. And we'll show you some clips every time we get together and on her way leaving. For some reason, we go into one of the color purple themes. You and me may never part. My key da. And so we have something that we will show as a fun clip that Asha was able to capture. And so she's such a delight to me. And so she was there, and my nieces, and a great deal of other people that showed up. Miss Tina from the TLA agency, Tina B, and then also Tina Robinson was there. And so, as I mentioned, for all of those that wanted to be there and just couldn't have the time because they were busy, as many people did explain to me that they were busy and weren't able to attend. I love you all, and thank you so much for the love as well.
Well, yeah, we're going to be celebrating. You got the rest of cancer season.
Yeah.
No, you have however long you want to celebrate. But my birthday is coming up too.
And one of the things about Asha being my only child, the only daughter for me, her father has 2 other children, that because of who she is in that way, as she chose me and chose her father, that she shares the month of July, which is my month, and she shares the day, which is her father's, 2/6/26. I thought that was a very special thing. And she is born in the double digits of 88, as it is. And so very, very interesting how that came about.
So when I see you all on Monday, I'll be 38.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got 6 days left in 37. Lord willing, I'll be turning 38. Thank you for the compliment here on TikTok. So yeah, I'll be a little older when I see y'all next week.
A little older and a little wiser as it is. She's doing the gentle daughtering. I used to say gentle parenting with me, but she's doing the gentle daughtering. As she graded me a B in terms of receiving the love and the honor as my birthday. And so many of us that are used to giving, we pour back into others when it's our time actually to receive. And so I have to do better with that.
Somebody went like this while they were taking a picture with you, and you went like this to them. She's like, it's all about you.
Oh, okay.
You're learning. You're doing better. You did really good.
Thank you.
So we said we was going to talk about some of the shows we've been watching. What are your thoughts about, and these spoiler alerts, we're going to be talking about some of the shows that we watched. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Last week, there was a scene where Portia and Shamia got into it, and they brought in some of their mother's issues. What are your thoughts about arguing or falling out with people that you've known for a long time? Are there rules when it comes to arguing? Are there boundaries when it comes to how much you will share? Because now, since the show aired, I think Portia went on social media and started talking about some of the men Shamia is sleeping with or has slept with as a married woman, I guess.
I believe that it is, I'm going to have a shiny nose, that it is a bad look. And if this is all a part of what the show is getting so many reviews and views about, because it's the sensationalism of all of the bickering between black women. And so it carries on the role of the fact that they say that black women don't get along with one another. And so when you're friends with someone and you befriend someone, you're going to know a great deal of things about them. That's something that you don't ever reveal, because some things, when you say it, you can't take it back, as Dad and I talk about. And so all of the forgiving and all of the apologizing doesn't take away with the fact that you're stabbing me in my back on live television. You're also going below the belt. And we know back in the day, anything that you say, and it could apply still today, when you go into about your mama, then that's when you know you've crossed the line, because they are innocent to any of this and they have nothing to do with it. And so you're crossing the line.
Or do they? Because they're the root of whatever. I mean, they really don't have anything to do with Portia and Shamia's fallout.
That's what I'm talking about.
But they did kind of set the tone of having a beef, a generational beef.
Between the two mothers had a beef with each other?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that scene? Or you fell asleep? Because Mama be falling asleep during show.
They had showed clips of their mothers?
No, they talked about it at the table. I can't remember who brought up what first. I think Portia brought up something first. Shamia said that Portia's mother tried to sleep with her dad.
I saw that.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And then Portia said, no, Shamia said that she tried to sleep with her dad, and then she said, and that's why, I don't know. Maybe she brought up the fact, I don't know who brought up what, but also it was revealed that Shamia's mother bought Portia's mother's daycare. I guess at one point she might have lost her child care service or daycare, and Shamia's mama went and bought it. So I'm not sure if that was brought up first, and then Shamia said, because your mom tried to sleep with my dad.
It is really a lot of disrespectful comments that are being said, because when you go ahead.
Then Portia said that Shamia's mom slept with her dad's brother.
Right, I remember that. And that's when you're digging in the dirt of people, because they have things that everyone has things that are in their closets that they haven't cleared out and cleaned up, and they may not be ready to reveal, especially, of course, that you want to hold the dignity and the respect of your mother. She's only human. And so if she went into more and more detail about her mom, as both of them were sitting there listening, and it didn't seem like it bothered Portia, because her mother is a human being, and whatever happened in her past, oh well. But Shamia broke down. She wasn't able to handle that, because again, you want to protect your mother's reputation at all costs. But if you realize that your mother may have done some things back in the day that is none of your business because you had never known about it, she's not perfect. And, it's one of those things that you don't take it to heart, because again, whatever it was that myself personally, as my brother would say, have gone through, I have faced it. And so if anyone wants to bring up something in my past, don't get offended. Don't use your fist.
As soon as I hear your mom.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
As soon as I hear an M rolling off somebody's lip. I can stand on
whatever it is that anyone wants to say about me. It doesn't bother me one bit. But I believe they both hit under the belt. And to be able to repair their friendship, they're going to need to really, really look at why it is that they want to hurt one another. And I believe it is because they really love the friendship that they used to have. And it seems like they can't reconcile getting back to that place, because they did have a fun-loving friendship. I believe Shamia is showing so much about herself, that she, has a lovely husband and her 2 children, and many of these young girls on these Housewives franchise of Atlanta, are not recognizing the fact that they have children that have to come after them, the daughters, to see them doing some of the things that they're doing. That's their prerogative, it's their life, they're adults. But what about your children that have to come after you, that have all of the ridicule about their mothers and some of the things that they're doing and showcasing? And all of it is fun and laughter. However, a great deal of it is going to come where your children are going to walk into this reputation that you created. And even back in the day when Madonna was coming up and her daughter, she says that she didn't want her daughter around any of the lyrics that she sang, but you pretty much had all of the girls and the young girls that followed her was into her aesthetics and the things that she was spewing and talking about, but she protected her daughter from it. And so what is it
Cardi B turns the music off when her kids walk
that
in.
she's protecting her children from it? So what are the Real Housewives of Atlanta women protecting their young daughters from?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they do a good job protecting them while they're young, but eventually when they get older and they see mama gotta have a life too, I guess. But I think Shamia still wants the reconciliation, at least at that point. It's been months since they filmed, but it doesn't appear that Portia wants it anymore.
She doesn't want it anymore. And I believe that Portia has seemingly gotten the big head over her position at the Real Housewives of Atlanta, that she's carrying it, as they're saying that she is the Black Kim Kardashian, I love the fashion on the Real Housewives franchise. The fashion is what I look at, and then some of the ways in which they show up as business women. So there's something that you can get out of anything. But as far as the bickering, and they do try to reconcile in some of the episodes, but that is a part of the franchise. Probably the contract is that you're constantly going at one another, and that's what the ratings are all about. So they're fulfilling the contractual obligations of what that is all about. But I guess that we all find things that we get out of anything that we watch. Yeah.
And what else we've been watching? We've been watching The Chi. A lot of people are criticizing The Chi this season, and really the past few seasons, feeling like it's gone downhill since certain characters have been taken off, or what do you think about this season?
With Keisha finding out, and spoiler alert, Keisha finding out that her best friend was the one that unalived her
baby
daddy, because it's so close knit in terms of how all of the characters are intertwined. As Keisha ex-man has a child by her ex-man, and who is it that unalived her? Her man. Tiffany, thank you. Some of the characters, I don't know their names. Tiffany unalived her best friend Keisha's baby daddy. And everyone was hiding that from Keisha, to where Keisha's main thing is for people to be honest with her. Her fiance, and his name again? Emmett, that asked her for her hand in marriage. He didn't want to tell her because that was something that he had a tough time being able to reveal. And so as it is, they took Keisha through all of that. And her best friend Tiffany was the one that planned for her to have her engagement party. She said, you can have your engagement party there. And now Keisha's feeling like, was that done out of guilt? And so she unalived his name.
Nook.
She unalived Nook because he unalived her baby daddy, Rob. He robbed Rob of his life. And so her mother-in-law, Rob's mom, was played by Lynn Whitfield, was on a rampage to be able to find out who took her son out. And so in terms of being in the fact that it's like a gangster movie or a gangster show series, that Tiffany took the role of her mother-in-law as she's living in her house. She has Rob's son, and so she's really trying to fulfill and fill those shoes. So she took him out. And it will be interesting to see how Tiffany and Keisha mend their friendship, because it's all about friendship in the series, that I like to be able to see those connections. Emmett's father, which Darnell is such a lovely man, as he was very much against Emmett explaining to him that I don't know if he, no, he talked with this new lady friend that she told him that Keisha wanted to propose to Emmett, and he was not for that. He is a part of the traditional role. But what is your thought on that before we jump into another area?
On which part?
On the
You've been
shot,
talking.
right, about how they have done
No,
Keisha.
you cannot. Somebody asked a crazy question. I feel like, for one, it's just, we know it's a series, but we're talking about the character. We're in the universe of The Chi right now. For one, Keisha is not being reasonable for. Hold on, let me do something real quick. Keisha is not being reasonable to think that her child's father, who is a serial unaliver,
Right.
he has taken out Duda, Pastor Zeke,
Oh,
Papa's dad, who was the pastor, and somebody else,
oh
a
my
couple other people.
goodness.
He's taken out all these people. Oh, he set up Alicia to be unalive,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody else too. And he's running them up through Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at him, and when Keisha got kidnapped, he was her boyfriend at the time. He didn't pick her up at the bus stop, and that's how it left her vulnerable to be kidnapped.
Oh, it went all the way back to
Yeah,
that.
he left her vulnerable to be kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
He was working for Duda at the time, and he had a brothel.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wasn't looking for her when she was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And when her brother Kevin showed up at his doorstep to say, "Do you have my sister?" he pulled a gun on her brother.
Sure did.
So
He's
you've
been a
done all
bad
these
character.
things, and now that she realized that he's the father of her son, she has put him on a pedestal. He is a good dad, but he's not a good man. And so you're not even being reasonable to the fact that this is the man that you've had this child with, not even knowingly, because she thought that her kidnapper was the father of the child until the child had sickle cell, and they were trying to figure out where the sickle cell came from, and it didn't match the DNA of the kidnapper.
Right.
So
she's being unrealistic.
She's
to
not
act
being
that
realistic.
Way. Right. I can see that.
She's
too.
not being realistic to think that even if it wasn't Tiffany, outside of it being Tiffany, which I get that part of it, he probably was gonna, end up in one of two places anyway because of the lifestyle he was living.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the fact that she was grieving him harder than everybody else. Nobody could tell you how to grieve, who to grieve, what degree to grieve in or to. But it just seemed like it was a really extreme based on the fact that he hadn't been, because of his lifestyle and because of how he showed up in her life before their child existed. So I think that her grief was even more because, she lost her dad. So she was empathizing with her son, not, going to be raised without a father. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like it put Emmett in a very hard place because he didn't want to keep this from her because he has turned a new leaf and he has matured and he does know that he needs to be honest and transparent with the woman that he's marrying. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, because his ex-wife and the mother of his son did it, he was also considering the fact that he's trying to protect her and the lady's friendship.
That's right.
And then, so it put him in a bad position to have to carry this secret.
That's right.
Knowing that he needed to share it with Keisha, but also trying to figure out what to do when it comes to his ex. So we love the show. I think there's definitely some holes in the plot, and it's kind of doing a lot right now.
Yeah, it's
then for it to be one more episode of the whole series.
Mm-hmm. Right. I believe when Emmett told her to get you at least enjoy the moment in terms of the engagement party and all of the things that were going on. And she was carrying on. I understand, as you're saying about the father of her son. However, ma'am, it's a little bit more than that, that I'm not sure that she always showed him that kind of love when she was around him.
She kind of did. Not as, not like she wanted him, but just like she really respected him as the father of her child. She really made sure that, if he wants to come over and spend time, he can. She's very progressive, in her thinking, because even Darnell and his new girlfriend said that they're gonna remain staying with them because she wants to raise the kids in a generational home.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a good highlight for it. But it seems as if some of the main characters there that it is kind of going in a different direction as they're bringing three new little boys in from how they began with the three little boys always being together. And so that's a cute little way that it's going to expand as it ends for the season. And so
now this is the series.
the series is ending. There's no more Shy after one more episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's
my
why everybody's trying to
goodness.
figure out
Where
why
is it
did
going?
they introduce all these new characters this season? Are they trying to do something, some spinoff? Because people feel like instead of kind of wrapping up the storylines that already existed and giving people a true story, they're adding all these new characters that don't really make sense. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We've been watching Raising Kanan. Thank you over here on TikTok.
Thank you.
Somebody said, I mean, not somebody said, again, spoiler alert, Kanan, in the Power universe, everybody really hates Tariq.
Tariq, yeah.
I never really hated Tariq because I felt like his parents had some type of, his parents had an influence on his behavior because I feel like they did too much sheltering.
I think so.
I think that it's great to not let them know. I ain't gonna say great. I think that it's understandable that they didn't want to put him in all the knowing about what they're doing. That's their business as adults. They're doing crime. So they were shielding and protecting their child from that. But they didn't prepare him with common sense and with the tools to not be so naive and to know when somebody's taking advantage of you and to just put him up on game of,
that's right. That's right.
letting him be aware of how people can be in this world. And so when Kanan came around in Tariq's life, he was easily manipulated. He was easily influenced, and he started drinking lean and getting into crime and all this because he already was having issues at home with his dad, having an affair on his mom, and all these things, all these big emotions he was having. And then here's this guy that seems cool that's influencing him. Now he's been in the street. So
and one thing about that is that Tariq had learned that Kanan back in the day used to be his father's. They used to run together with Ghost and Tommy. And so he knew that there was some kind of a relationship that they had, a friendship that they had, but he didn't know all of the particulars. And so as the scenes and time went on, he learned that there was some backhanded things that was going on that Kanan did. And so Kanan played that against Tariq, against Ghost. And so I think that that's a really thin line to be able to inform your children about what's happening in the real world, and for those that are shielding them, that wants to keep them green, as they would say. And so you want to let them know what's happening in the street, so if someone brings it to them, they won't be susceptible to those things. They won't be easily influenced and manipulated, because there are some people out there that have some cunning, manipulative ways that will trick the youngsters that just don't know. And so we'll get them involved in a world of trouble. So is there a thin line between what someone should tell a young child growing up versus shielding them from it? I think you just touched on it.
Yeah, I think you don't have to tell them if you feel like certain things should be private in your adult life and you don't want to be that much of an open book with your child because some things are just not children's business. I think that's fine, but just giving them the tools to have common sense and not necessarily street sense, but just knowing that you can, be conned, hustled, or manipulated out here in these streets. But I brought him up to say everybody really hates Tariq, but then once they're watching Raising Kanan and seeing how Kanan was brought up, they kind of don't even hate Tariq as much because Kanan is so annoying.
Right.
Kanan is just always messing up something, always trying to get into something and messing it up. And after, I think they've been on for maybe 4 seasons, which I think this is the final season as well.
The final season, okay.
He finally got beat up by Uncle Marvin. What were your thoughts about that butt whooping?
Uncle Marvin would have gave him what he was always looking for. He wants to be in the street life. He wants to be a thug. But if you can't fight, I had ever seen him really throw any blows. He talks the talk, but he's not able to show up doing anything. So his Uncle Marvin, whooped his ass like a stranger. He whooped his ass so well that it was almost as if everyone was cheering if this was in a theater, because Kanan has been very, very disrespectful toward his mother. Now, I believe it was an accident that he actually pulled the trigger before he could even think about who it was he was aiming at. But the idea that you're walking around here as if you are a true gangster and you're just a little brat that really want to get into life, and you're going against your mother, you're going against your uncle, you're going against the family. So he needed that ass whooping.
Oof, it was terrible, but yeah. Rock, his mother, is very strategic about when she does certain things because she always protects Kanan.
Right, that part.
But, you know, she had enough because he was doing too much. It's like she wants to protect him as her son.
Right.
But he's in too deep into the life now that she can't necessarily keep him in that image of this is my baby that I have to protect, because now he's messing with her money, messing with her reputation in the streets, doing things to, you know, mess up her flow.
Right.
And he's threatening her, and he's basically declaring himself as her enemy.
Right.
So she had been protecting him this whole time, protecting the fact that he unalived his uncle, protecting the fact that he's, you know, did something to her customer to end up, you know, unaliving one of her clients. She's steadily protecting him to make sure that he stays alive. But at this point, she said, well, I'm just going to tell her uncle what he did and let him do what he going to do.
Yeah.
Because if Jukebox wasn't there, he might have went all the way with it.
He might have went all the way. When does he learn a lesson that it is not your mother that you should be against? Get out of the life. She ain't ever wanted him to be in the life. She wanted him to go to school and get his education.
That's what Ghost wanted for Tariq, and they want to be in the streets.
I don't condone violence, but this is the character on this show. Kanan comes off as if he's about that life, but when it comes to hands, he don't ever throw them.
He ain't got no hands.
He ain't got no hands.
Tariq didn't have no hands either.
Yeah, so he got what he deserved because it's a lesson. Because if it's not his uncle doing it, it could be someone else out in the street that can actually take him out from jump. He wouldn't have to give him a lesson to learn, because he didn't even seem like he had any remorse about doing that, unaliving his own uncle. He didn't have any remorse about it.
Because he think he's so gangster. But yeah, if you all aren't watching these shows, go check them out and come back and tell us what you think about them, because those are some of the shows that we've been watching.
Right.
Did we want to have one question?
We can have one question. It's just like watching The Godfather when it comes to that series, that, you know, Don Corleone and all of the ways in which that comes about. It gives you that way of getting into the lifestyle of what this actually is and the interpersonal relationships that they carry, because they're still human. They still have families, but yet it's very intricate in that world. And so I enjoy the series in terms of some of the acting and the way that they go about developing these characters. There's a lot you can learn from them when it comes to character development.
I forgot we weren't going to do a question, but we were going to talk about one topic that came up yesterday.
Oh,
so yesterday
yes.
we played a game that I created. I'm gonna figure out a better name for it, but right now I call it red flags, yellow flags, green flags. And basically you present a statement that could apply to someone that you're dating, and everybody has their flag and votes on whether it's a red flag, yellow flag, or green flag, and we discussed why. So we were talking about when you're in a relationship, being helpful to other people of the opposite sex that aren't related to you or whatever, strangers of the opposite sex. There was an example of, if you're in the store and you're in a relationship as a man, if a woman says, can you come over here and help me with the something off of the shelf, or pick up this watermelon and put it in my basket, will you do that? And we wanted to kind of elaborate on how friendly or how helpful are you comfortable with your partner being to people of the opposite sex. Because I was just thinking earlier, an ex of mine, he always talked about being unapproachable or having this not so friendly face or whatever, but when he was at work, they were like a family at work, where it's just like when you get there, you're speaking to everybody, everybody's so excited to see you, and that's great. I would be on the phone with him, but then there was two particular incidents with the same woman that, like, when he's speaking to the men, it's like, oh, hey, hi, da, da, da. They talking and stuff, but then when I hear the woman's voice, it's getting real close because I could hear you in the damn phone,
Right.
and it sounds like y'all are giving each other a hug, which that's fine. But when it started getting to the point of talking about, oh, you smell good.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that's crossing the line.
All right, you're getting a little bit too much. That was her to him.
Right.
But then one day I heard the exchange, and she was like, "You didn't say I smell good." Hold up.
Oh, wow. What?
I had to call him out at that point because no, I'm not a jealous person, and I don't mind interaction with my partner and anyone in the world that they want to be kind or friendly to. But y'all are flirting.
Yeah, that's flirting. That's flirting, and they do call them work husbands and work wives. It's a real thing. It happens, and so they get to be around each other for long periods of time, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so it kind of goes together that they're bringing each other food samples and things like that, buying each other lunch, and having all of these, purchasing food from them that they have cooked and bringing it to them to share. All kinds of things goes on with these workplace spouses. And so in that case, I do recall going into a grocery store that something was on a high shelf, and there was a couple that I asked the young lady, do you mind if I ask your husband if he can help me with that item on the top shelf? And she says, no, I don't mind. And he gave it to me, and that was the extent of that. And I can let you know he was a very handsome Caucasian man. And so I recognized that about him, but at the same time, you give your allegiance and your respect to the wife and the woman that is in his life. Because again, if someone just came up and asked your man, could you get that for me, and not acknowledge the fact that you're there, or vice versa. You just don't want to do that, be disrespectful. But all of that kikiing and cheesing and smiling, as we were talking about one scenario where the young man knows about watermelons and knows how to pick out the ripe watermelon. And my sister and all of us were doing a scenario where she was asking him as if she was a woman that was asking for his help. And the way that he did all of that, smiling. And so I said, that's a red flag, because you're showing too much. You're doing too much, and you have no idea what a woman may see in your man.
And that's the thing too, because I don't think there's anything wrong with men being helpful to women who aren't in their family or they're in a relationship with. If you're opening a door, if you see a woman struggling with some heavy things, go ahead and help her.
I don't mind that.
But there has to be some boundaries, because sometimes what men don't see, like you said earlier, women see. So
that's right.
With my ex, you're saying, oh, we're not flirting. Everybody here is a big family. You can come up here to the job, clear it all up. I don't want you to think it's nothing that it's not. You might not think it's nothing, but I was listening to her, how that woman was talking to you. And he said, well, she's married and she sells perfume.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
It doesn't
matter. And I said, because I said, if she would not be acting like that if her husband was watching or listening.
She would not have. And then sometimes, some people are touchy. Oh, you don't have to do that. And they're touching muscles and things of that nature. And so you want to be careful, because again, people are territorial. All right. And as he was pointing out, he wouldn't want his lady to accept a man wanting to pay for her gas. Now, he says he don't mind if he pumped it, but paying for it is something that he did not accept. And so if it's a double standard in terms of what we can expect from those that may want to help, just kind of keep your friendliness to a minimum, because it can send the wrong signal.
And that's a good conversation to have when you're in a relationship, as far as boundaries, because sometimes they say you don't tell your man everything or whatever,
right,
because
say that, yeah.
Say say you go out and have drinks with your best friend or your homegirls, and a man wants to buy y'all drinks. Do you need to turn it down because you have a man? No, thank you. I don't need any other men buying me drinks. Or can you just accept it and keep it moving? Or is that crossing the line? Is that crossing a boundary?
Well, it could lead to other things if you're setting the wrong signal. But some men would say, have the drink and he moves on. He's not expecting anything. But many back in the day, they buy you a drink, they own you for at least 3 songs. They're going to continue to ask for your phone number. So, as my sister would say, when someone asks, the waitress comes over and asks her, this young man wants to buy you a drink, she said, go over there and ask him, does that come with a conversation? So it's one of those things, what you accept, be careful because it could be misleading. But at the end of the day, keep those smiles to a minimum when it comes to being overly friendly, because people nowadays are hot. They're looking for someone, perhaps some of the men may be looking for a thought, no pun intended, but you want to be careful, fellas, on all of that extra friendliness and smiling that you're doing, because again, we see things differently that men just don't detect. And so we know all of the things that are going on. So we want you to continue to protect us, not neglect us.
Girl,
when it comes, shut up, girl.
us.
When it comes to us and our feelings, you don't want to neglect us and your feelings. Pay attention to your woman in your life, because she's going to let you know what it is that she doesn't like about all of that friendliness and all that kikiing you doing with these other women. They're flirting with you, and you have no idea that they're doing that. That's my take.
So, okay. And I was just sitting here thinking about if a man is offering to pump or to pay for your gas, if you have, I mean, of course you already have it yourself to pay for it.
Right.
And then if the man is going to be that, I don't know. I want to survey some men. That's going to be one of my new questions when I'm interviewing people, if I do street interviews or when I'm interviewing people. How would you feel about your woman accepting someone offering to pay for her gas at the gas station?
Right. That's a really good conversation to have, because, again, you want someone that is helpful, to open the car, not necessarily the car door, but open the door as she's entering in. Perhaps if she's by herself, some men will ask, can I pump your gas? And that's okay. I don't know if, as far as going into paying for the gas, that may be a little much.
That's extreme.
Yeah, that's extreme.
But some men might be like, "Shoot, take it if you want it." Well, I don't think any man is going to say that, but maybe we'll see.
And those are the boundaries. Yeah, that would be a good thing to do. Asha, is there something you want to add in terms of something that you're working on to share with everyone, or how they can connect with you with some of the service that you have?
Absolutely. Again, I'm Asha Cerise, the Dream Doula, supporting you with birthing the life, love, and business you desire. If you need some support with life coaching, just accountability, structure, scheduling, organization, anything that you need someone to hold space for you to unpack some things, for you to get some things going and clear some things out of your life. If you need some support with your intentional dating journey, figuring out what it is that you actually want, your standards, your boundaries, like we're talking about boundaries right now, and your deal breakers, and what it is that you're looking for, and what you need to do to get out of your own way when it comes to finding love. I have a database, a growing database of singles that you can join. Again, that's linked in my bio as well. And it gives me the opportunity to curate more intimate events with your preferences, desires, and values in mind, as well as some matchmaking. And then when it comes to business, if you need support with strategizing, coming up with content plans, just figuring out what your niche is, what you're good at, what you should be doing, and how you should be showing up on social media to get the best out of it, holla at your girl.
And how can they holler at you?
At Asha Cerise on all platforms, OSHACERESE. And my site is stan.store/Asha Cerise.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And everything that I have available for you is also in my Stan store, including a couple of books and a great deal of things that you can stay tuned for dates and bookings for the Next Lady Academy workshop, and as well as the Zest for Life Social Club and support group. And if you are here on Facebook, send me a DM where you can join my private Facebook page for Zest for Life Social Club and support group, where we can have more intimate conversation. Stay tuned for more Zoom calls that we will have as we check in on one another. We need those accountability partners. We need those that are there to want to heal and to be able to understand that it's okay for us to pour back into ourselves as mothers and caregivers, and those that are constantly pouring into other people. So we can do that proudly as we live our zestful life. And so thank each and every one of you all. Asha, we still have to come up with a Monday theme song.
We haven't come up with it yet.
And thank you so much for all the likes and loves there on TikTok land and there in the YouTube world. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Dad, Lenitra, my dear precious friend Lenitra, for joining us. Thank you all so much for taking the time to come here on the bright and early morning as you rise and shine. Be sure to give yourself some grace today and have a good day on purpose.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
The exit.